So yeah, we teach JavaScript because we have these levels, as you maybe saw on the website, right? So you have coding basics, then you have test automation and front end.
Mm-hmm.
Then the third level is backend and mobile development. So if, for example, let's imagine there is another language, for example, you would like to do backend in Java. Okay, then what you need to do, you learn JavaScript, you go to test automation or go to front-end development, which is React. And
Mm-hmm.
in order to learn backend, you go to the beginning and start learning Java basics, and
Mm-hmm.
then some front end or something like that in Java, and then only backend because it's not complex, right? So you need to take that 6 months path again. So same with Python. Let's say if we um, would like to add Python, for example, right? Let's say automation in Python. So you need to learn Python basics, then you do automation basics. But there is no popular front-end framework in Python. So what to do? You have to go and start learning JavaScript basics since the beginning, and then learn React, and then for mobile development, learn React Native, and so on. If you would like to do mobile development in Objective-C, for example, you have to start from scratch. Basics, and then mobile course in general. Like it will take for you at least 6 months to learn them from scratch. So what we have instead, you learn basics for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can go with the same language. You go to automation or you go to front-end development or both. It's up to you. Once you know that, you just spend 2 more months and learn backend, or 2 more months to learn mobile development. And that's it. That's the advantage. That's why we selected this language, and that's why. Also, you mentioned that some of the, not some of the, you said that many employers, they require knowledge of Java or Python or something like that. So that's what we were talking about with the main group. One person also mentioned that, hey, there are, in this job description I'm applying for, there is Java, there is Python, there is something else, and they are interviewing me. And I'm saying, okay, so how do you think they saw your resume and there is no Python, there is no Java? There is JavaScript, WebDriver IO, whatever you did. Why they're interviewing you? And plus, you actually passed technical interview, so you have the next interview with the manager. So how do you think, if you don't have those skills in your resume, why they're still interviewing you? Because there are many reasons. Because sometimes you don't have a good candidate, and you have to interview people in what they have. And if you know one language, you can easily learn the second one. When I used to work at Apple, we were hiring people with Java, we were hiring people with Python, but we were doing automation in JavaScript. And those people with Python and Java, they just learned JavaScript uniqueness, some unique details of JavaScript in 2 weeks, and then they started doing automation in JavaScript.
Mm-hmm.
But the initial language they were hired with was Java and Python, so it's okay. So once you know one language, you can easily learn the second one. And if you don't have a good candidate, you look for other languages, for people with other languages. So this is one reason. So it doesn't matter for you. And second issue here. So sometimes you don't know what you will be doing. Let's say I'm going to open a new project and I need to hire people. And I don't know what technologies we're going to use. Same we have right now. We are trying to build a new project and we're still deciding, hey, either we're going to use React or something else. What are we going to use as a backend language? Will it be C sharp? Because we have many people who know C sharp or something else. Maybe it will be JavaScript. We don't know. So we're still deciding. But in order to hire people, we put everything on the job description. So for you, it doesn't matter. You just apply for everything you see in the market. If they even list something else, if they see your resume says JavaScript, they don't need JavaScript. They exactly know that there will be no JavaScript. They will just reject you, and you will not get any reply. You will not get interview invite. But if they are inviting you, to the interview, that means you potentially are a good candidate for them. And they are potentially thinking about hiring you. So this is how it works. Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes they have a lot of technologies, and some of them are not something you worked with. Sometimes this is not something they are going to work with. Maybe there will be something different, but they just put everything they can potentially see in the future. So sometimes how it works. Sometimes you work at some company and they use Azure DevOps. Other companies use Amazon Web Services. Third company use something else. Apple uses something they own, right? Because they don't use any other services. They just use their own products to be like closed as much as possible. And everybody understands, if you come from Amazon, you probably used to work with Amazon Web Services, right? And if you need to work with Azure DevOps, they will still hire you because you're a good professional. And this is how it works. Sometimes you work with WebDriver IO, but company needs somebody with Cypress, and they will still hire you because you're a good professional. And always, if you change your job, if you go from one company to another company, there is always something new, something you never worked with, some new technologies, some new processes, something new. So job description shouldn't match you like 100%. It should be approximately what you are working with, and that's it. If you're a good automation QA engineer, but you use different language or different technology, they will still hire you. I have many people who learned WebDriver IO, but they were hired to work with Cypress, and vice versa. I know many people who, as I mentioned, worked with Java and Python, but were hired to work with JavaScript, and vice versa. I know people who used to work with JavaScript, then they were hired as Java automation engineers. Later, they said, hey, you see that Java is not good for automation anymore. There are better frameworks right now on the market. Let's switch. And they were switching to other frameworks. They switched to Test Cafe first. Right now, they're switching from Test Cafe to Cypress. They're trying, but they hired person with JavaScript experience for Java automation, which is okay. This is how it works. So you shouldn't be worrying about that job description is not matching your skills by 100% because it's never matching. When you, especially when you grow, when you start as a manual person, then you switch to automation, then from automation maybe would like to become a lead or something like that, then from lead you grow as to a manager, or maybe it was some principal engineer or something like that. There are always challenges and some new things to learn. When I was changing my jobs and going from one company to another, and from manual tester to automation, from automation to lead, there are always some challenges. And when company hires you, what they would like to see that you will be able to learn something new, because there are always something new to learn, and you need to do that. And that's it. This is how it works. So if you, I hope you will grow till the management position, and when you will be hiring people, you will know that you will have an experience. You will see that you have many candidates. Sometimes candidates with different languages are better than the candidates with the language you need. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to be used, so you're just hiring a good person, and that person will build everything from scratch, depending on what that person knows better. And this is how it works.
Okay, thank you. That sounds more realistic and inspiring. Thank you.
Good. This is how it works. There is nothing ideal on the market. And what I'm suggesting people, and actually we will be talking about this today, so you need to apply for everything. Sometimes, of course, you don't apply if you see a management position or something that maybe doesn't make sense, or you don't apply for a backend development role. But if this is a QA engineering role, and there is test automation, for example, and you're a test automation engineer, and you see the different language, you see maybe some new tools you never used, it's okay. You apply. I never worked with Azure DevOps before this company, right? But I was joining, that's not a problem, because you used to work with some tools in one company, then another tools in different company, then you go to third company, they will have absolutely different tools they're using, and you will need to learn them. But what is important for interviewers is your personality and what you're able to do, if you're able to learn something new, and if they would just like you. So let's get started. Let's get started. Let me share my screen. Actually, I had the same um, a class yesterday with my automation group, and we were talking about interviews. So let me share the same start, how to present, and let me share my screen. Okay. Let me share my screen. Are you guys able to see?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and I will be making some pauses, guys. I will be asking you questions. So do not hesitate just to stop me and ask me questions if you have. So, okay, let's start with the present. Okay, so we will be talking about interviews today, about soft skills especially, because you will understand after this class that people, they buy and they hire you emotionally. So your goal will be not just to prove that you're a skilled person, you will need to prove that you're a good person to work with. You need to be empathetic. That means that they need to like you during the interview as a person, first of all. And then later, they will try to prove that you're the best candidate and you have the best skills to other people who interviewed you. So everybody who will like you will try to tell others that you're the best candidate and we need to hire you and why. And they will try to look for those arguments why they need to hire you. But they will hire you, they will make a decision emotionally. So first of all, you need to understand that they need to improve their situation. Many people, they just think that companies hiring people because they're hiring people and you're going to get a salary and do nothing and just, it's not about you. Interview process is all about that company needs. So during the entire interview, your goal is to define why and what they need. So what the situation, what kind of situation they have. So they are looking for you or for other person for this position to fill this gap. So they have some situation. Maybe they don't have enough hands. Maybe their team is growing and they need more people to do automation or do manual testing or do coding, whatever. So companies hire people to improve their situation. They have some situation and they need to improve it. So your goal will be to find this problem and suggest yourself as a solution. And once you suggested yourself as a solution, that's it. They made a decision. Second thing, they buy emotionally. So interview is not only about answering questions. It's not exam. It's not about people asking you questions and you're answering them. It's about talking. It's about being friendly. It's about being smiling. It's about joking sometimes, right? It's about being natural. When you go to the interview, and it rarely comes right away. So sometimes you have to go to multiple interviews to understand that, to feel that. And sometimes how it works, you just go to interviews, you get rejected. You go to another interviews, you got rejected, and you start going. You continue going to the interviews, and you get rejected. And at some point, you go to the next interview and feeling relaxed because you already used to being rejected. So you go to the interview thinking, hey, one more, one less, it doesn't matter. Let's go and just talk to people. And you go talk to people, you're relaxed, you're just joking, smiling. Maybe you have a good mood today, you had some maybe good news at home or something like that, and you're coming to that interview in good mood. You're talking to people, smiling, joking, never even thinking about job offer. And what happens? You didn't expect that, but they give you a job offer. This is what happens usually with most of the people. So it takes some time for them to understand. I'm trying to tell them, hey guys, it's all about you, about what you have in here and how you think about the interview. Because For me, for example, right now it's easy. I have the experience, I changed many jobs, and usually I take the first open position I'm applying for, I'm getting a job. I go to the interview, I'm not getting rejected. Last time I got rejected was 4 years ago, right? Probably when I was looking for a job for the first time in the United States. Probably the last time I got rejected. After that, it's usually you get in what happens usually. You apply for many positions and you get multiple offers at the same time. Like you have like pretty efficient week when you had multiple interviews and then you got one offer. Then second company calling you in a few days saying, hey, we have an offer for you. Then third company, and you have to decide. But you need to get to that point. You need to be relaxed, empathetic, and either you just understand that and you will go and get the first offer from the first interview, or you will need to go to many interviews in order to get used to go to the next interview thinking about, okay, I got rejected many times and now I don't care. I just go to one another interview and just will talk to people. It doesn't matter if they reject me or they give me an offer. It doesn't matter. I will just go and talk to them. And you go relaxed and talk to them and they hire you. So this is what happens. And either you understand that right away, or it will take some time for you to understand that. Okay. Also, since you're relaxed, uh, you identify their problems, so what they need to feel, what they need to fix, what they need to improve, and you need to talk from a position of strength, because interview is never ideal, as I mentioned, right? Sometimes they ask you some questions you don't know answers for. Sometimes they are asking about some technologies you never used, but be just talk from position of strength, right? So what that means? That means that you need to, even if you don't know something, just tell them, hey, I don't know. I never worked with this technology, but I worked with something like this, like similar. I used to work with Azure DevOps, for example, Azure pipelines. We used to actually use Azure DevOps because we can store the entire project in there. We can have documentation, we can have bug reports, we can have agile boards, we can have code repos, we can have pipelines, test cases, functionality, and so on, and many more. And virtual machines and other services. That's why we use Azure DevOps, because everything is in one place and you have single username and password to log in. That's why you don't have to have multiple systems. But if you use, let's say, Jira, or you use something else, or you use Azure, or you use Amazon Web Cloud, web services, it's okay. It's okay to say no during the interview. It's absolutely normal because you cannot know everything. For example, if I go to the interview right now and somebody asks me, hey, can you write a promise right now? And I will honestly say, guys, I learned how to do that and I can do that, but I just forgot how to do that right now because I never do that for the past probably 40 years or something like that, maybe 2 years or something like that. So I just need to Google it quickly, like 30 seconds. I just need to type promise JavaScript, and that's it. I will find how to write it from scratch because we don't write it right now. Usually, right now, what we do, we usually some ready solutions like Axios, for example, for sending API calls to the server and to test API using promise under the hood. But we are not writing that promise from scratch. We just download Axios and start using it. So nobody is writing promise right now from scratch. Usually people using some solutions that are created already using promises. So it's fine and it's okay to answer like that. So I don't remember, but what would you do? And it's your job daily. And everybody who interviews you, they know that they Googling everything daily. For example, right now we are starting a new project, and I have some task right now we are taking the responsibility from API testing as a key team. And our goal right now to compare Postman and how to build in Postman into pipelines. And on the other hand, just use Node.js and Axios, for example. and how to build that into pipeline. So I need to compare that. So I googled the entire day today, was creating some code, was creating some test cases in Postman, comparing them, then googling how to import the collection from Postman to JSON file, then how to import it into pipelines and what to use to run the script there. And we're googling daily, all the developers, how to implement something. For example, they would like to use new feature to send emails. For example, service SendGrid. In order to use it, you need to learn what they use their API, and sometimes you need to go to some forums and to read the information there how to use it. So it's absolutely okay to say, I don't know how to use it, but if I need to learn it, I will be the first one who will learn it. So be just, tell them from position of strength that even if you don't know something, you will be the first one who will learn that and use it, because that's what you usually do. Tell them maybe some story about yourself from the past, telling, hey, for example, on my project, we had some specific task and nobody was working with that technology before. So I took that responsibility. I did the research. I Googled a lot of information. I found some website with documentation, and I implemented that feature. So this is how it works. So even if they ask you a question you don't have an answer for, you always can say no if you don't know anything about this tool, and say, hey, but if you need this, if this is important, if this is required, I will learn it for you guys as quickly as nobody did before. And if they are asking you about something, for example, as for me, promise that I know, but I don't remember how to write the syntaxes correctly, so I need to quickly take a look. You just can tell them, hey, I know how to do that, but I just forgot the syntaxes. May I take a look, or something like that. So be relaxed and be honest with them. This is what makes you the best candidate. And this is how it works. You don't have to answer every question. And this is related with the situation with the job description, right? So even if the job description is not ideal in matching you, it's okay. Because if they are calling you to the interview, that means that they potentially will be hiring you. You just need to prove that you're the best candidate. You need to be the best candidate for them emotionally, and just prove that you're technically can do the same that you described in your resume. Because they read your resume first and they see, okay, this person used these technologies and did this on the previous job, did this and this, and they are okay with this. If you prove that you can do what described in your resume, not something extra, just what you described in your resume. If you're emotionally good, you're smiling, they like you, they like to talk to you, they're smiling, they're joking, you're smiling, you're joking, right? And then you just tell them, hey guys, this is what I did on my past job, and if you need to do something else, I will do that. No problem. This is what I did when I was changing my job in the past, and this is what I will do right now. I will just do whatever you need. This is my job, right? That's it. At this point, they already hired you, because you prove that you can do everything from your resume. You're emotionally good, they like you, and plus you're talking for positional strength. You're telling them even if you don't know something, you will learn it. That's it. At this point, you got a job. And also you need to find their pain. That's additionally will help you to suggest yourself as the best candidate. So when people are asking me, hey, why are you looking for this person right now for this position? I always telling them my pain and what kind of person I'm looking for. Because usually what happens, I work with many people that are not professional. For example, when I joined one of my companies in the past, the people there, they were not testers. They were not QA engineers. Somebody made a decision in the past and they were just people from help desk. They were answering calls from the customers, right? And since they know the system better than others, because they had to research a lot, work with the system, look for bugs, customers reporting. So somebody decided, hey, let's move them to QA department and they will be testing. We didn't need QA manager, we didn't need automation, nothing. So when I joined the company, they told me, hey, those people came from help desk, and I had to learn them, teach them from scratch what is QA, what the testing is, and everything else, right? So all those technologies, all the approaches, test design techniques, automation, everything. And somebody made a decision, but that's what was my pain, right? And when I'm hiring people right now, I have clear requirements and I'm telling them. So first of all, I need you to have that experience, to know test design techniques, to know how to create a bug report, and also what is important for me, you need to be proactive. I don't want to babysit you. I don't want to go and tell you, hey, go and do this, go and do that. I want you, if I assign you a task and the task needs a research, you need to research, maybe Google something, you go and Google it because that's your job. And that's not something scary. You just need to go and do your job, and that's it. So I need a responsible person. I don't have to babysit. I just need that person to be proactive and just nice person to work with. That's my pain. And you can easily understand my pain. Why I'm looking for a person like that. Probably I don't have a lot of people like that. That's why I'm looking for people like I just described, right? Because I don't need to more people like I already have that are not proactive, that are just waiting for till the pension, till they are retired, or just don't want to do anything, just want to relax, pick the easiest task. I want people to be proactive, people that want to grow and want to develop their skills. That's who I am looking for, and that's the best candidate. So you can easily identify my pain from this, from my statement, from my answer, and then you need to suggest yourself as the solution. Tell them, hey, you know what? In my past experience, my previous company, I was just picking the hardest. I understand what you're saying because most of my colleagues were people like that. They were not picking the complex task. They were hiding. They were trying to pick the easiest task, and I was the one picking the hardest and most difficult tasks. And that person who interviews you, thinking, okay, this is probably the person I'm looking for. And again, this is everything combined, emotionally, smile, nice, talking to them, joking, trying to identify their pain and suggest yourself as a solution because you need to be that person they're looking for. And that's it. You got the job. Questions? Any specific questions regarding this? Okay, so what I'm suggesting to you guys also, what I'm doing, usually I have a lot of these recordings of these lessons when I'm explaining people how to successfully pass the interview. I always, when I go to the interview, I always watch this video when I'm talking to other people, just to remember myself what I need to do properly, because I also may forget something, right? It's never ideal, so I'm trying to watch this video before I go to the interview and just to like summarize everything in my head before I go to the interview. So you will have this recording available to you. You have access to the playlist with all these videos. Just before you go to the interview, watch this video, and that's it. You go to the interview and you try to make your best to be the best candidate for them. Okay. How usually interview starts? Usually you greet each other, people saying, hey, hi, and your name. And my name is Arthur, for example. I work at this company as a manager, and we're looking for a person like you. So let's get started. And how about telling about yourself? And usually the first question they ask you is tell us about yourself, or tell me about yourself. And what you need to tell here, many people make a mistake here. They're talking about projects, about the company, about something else. You need to tell them here about yourself and how many years of experience you have, what you can do. And actually, in this part, you need to use many words from their job description, because usually person who will be interviewing you is the one who created the job description, and the words used there are used by this person, and those skills or those characteristics are important for this person. So before you prepare yourself to the interview, just read the job description and try to be that candidate that matching those skills. Like if they're acting for proactive person, be proactive. If they're looking for a person eager to learn, just tell them, hey, I'm a very proactive person. I'm eager to learn. I have 5 years of experience in software testing. Last 3 years, I'm doing automation testing. I really eager to learn. I actively learning all automation tools and technologies right now. What I'm using right now is that and that and that. For example, WebDriver IO. I am also using Azure DevOps. I do a little bit continuous integration. I cooperate with DevOps engineers to do continuous integration, and so on. Just tell them about yourself. At the end, you can even tell them about your hobbies. I like to play soccer, for example, and do hiking. That's all about myself. And if they have specific questions, they will ask you. But be short and tell them not about your project, not about your company. Tell them about yourself, years of experience, then use words from their job description to match that job description to be the best candidate for them right away by just even answering this question. And that's it. This is a really part of the success. Then one important question about your life path and why is this important? They will tell you, how do you see yourself in 3-5 years? Why the company is asking this question? The answer is very simple. The answer for any question is they are trying to understand if you're the best candidate for them. Any question they ask you, uh, because they have a job description, they have some opinion how that ideal candidate looks like, and they would like to understand that you're the right person for them. So the universal answer for this question will be, how do you see yourself? Of course, you see yourself in their company. And universal answer will be as a key person. You don't have to say, tell them, hey, I'm a QA manager and taking your role, because probably that manager won't like that. Or I will be like a CEO or something like that. No. Or especially some people telling, hey, I see myself 2 years in your company, then I will open my own business or something like that. That's it. Since that point, you are rejected. So company is hiring people because they need you, not because you need money, you need salary, you need a job. No, because company has a problem and company is trying to fix that problem. So you need to understand that. I know that it sounds obvious, but many people unfortunately don't understand that. They're thinking that company is hiring them because they need a job. No, company hiring people because company needs to solve the problem they have. This is how it works. So universal answer for this question will be, for any, when they ask you a question, you always need to think, why are they asking me this question? Because they need to understand if I'm a good person for this position. And how do you see yourself in 3-5 years? What would be the best person for them in this case? This will be the person who will not sit in one point and do nothing. Will be a person who will constantly learn something and grow as a professional. So how do you see yourself in 3-5 years? You see yourself as a essential part of the team, as a key person on the project. So everybody asks you a question and you know the answer for it because you are a key person, and a lot of things rely on you because you're most responsible, you're taking the responsibility for everything, and you are a key person on the project right now. Company and the project cannot be successful without you. This is what kind of person you would like to be on this project. That's it. And they like you again after this answer. because they need person like you. They need a responsible person who will take that responsibility, who will take the most complex tasks, and will not be afraid of challenges. That makes you a great person. Even if you're a junior person, it doesn't matter. When I got my first job, I was never afraid of challenges because it was my job. My company is paying me for doing my job. If my job is take something complex and go and do some research, that's what I'm going to do. There's nothing to be afraid of. I just need to go and Google and try to find a solution, to go to ask a developer, whatever. I will just try to do my best. I cannot be better than I am. I can be just I am, right? So I just need to do that. So you always can tell that you will take the responsibility for everything they assign to you, and you will be the best candidate for them right away. Okay. And they may also ask you, why should we hire you? And this comes from the position of strength. You can just tell them, hey guys, um, I know you have many candidates for this position, but I know who I am. And I can tell you that I will be the key person on the project in 3-5 years. So um, you have two ways. One way is just to hire a regular person who will be sitting, trying to do less complex tasks, trying to do less job, not proactive. Maybe that person even has more years of experience than I do. Maybe, I don't know. But that person may be not proactive, maybe not responsible. But if you hire me, I will be the most responsible person you ever worked with. I will be doing my job better than others. That's why you need to hire me, because I'm the best candidate for you. And that's it. If you were doing everything properly till this moment, smiling, talking as to our friend, not just as a teacher or a person who is hiring you, and you are like afraid of that person, and you're just answering questions like a robot. If you did everything like correctly, be empathetic, relaxed, smiling, and answered this question in this way, you already got a job. Even doesn't matter how you act after this, but you got a job by just answering question like this. So again, we're coming to the same things. The most important things that you need to understand during the interview, and you need to understand during the interview, because what they're doing is pretty simple. They're just looking for the best candidate. What you need to understand is to find their pain, why they're looking for this person, and be a best candidate for them. And that's why you're using these techniques. You're trying to be empathetic, just to be person they would like to work with. Because if I can tell you from my experience that if I'm interviewing 20 people, first of all, before that, I'm reviewing hundreds of resumes, and I'm just rejecting people and then just selecting 20 people for the interview. Then I conduct 30 minutes interview with every candidate. And when I talk to 15 people who are just reading something from the screen, answering me my questions as robot, just, I ask question and they like, blah, 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 blah. Okay, and silent, right? Not empathetic, not just talking to me friendly. And then I see the person who's shining, right? That person is empathetic, just smiling. It's nice to talk to. I remember that person right away. I don't remember the rest 15 candidates. I just remember this person I'm interviewing right now, because this person is absolutely different than others. And that's the kind of person you need to be to get a job. Okay. They may ask you, of course, they will ask you these questions. What was your role on the project? You need to tell them your responsibilities. And this is what described in your resume. And the question actually comes from there. The question comes from your resume. You just need to describe your responsibilities. They already described in your resume. So you just need to know that. Of course, during the course, we have a separate lessons on resume creation, how to create them properly and what to write there. And you need just to have that information there and know it. and then you just explain them your project. That's why we came up with the idea to work on real projects, not just to teach people. Because what's happening when people just learn theory and then just to go and search for a job, they don't know what to answer because they don't know their responsibilities. Even if they learn something, they do something, they do automation, but not in the project, but just, lesson one, do this. Okay, lesson two, do this. You do this, and you have testing framework on your computer, on your laptop, and it's running, it's working. But you never worked on the project with other people. You never was picking up the tasks, moving them on the board, writing test cases, right, and so on. So it's hard to answer for you. And that's the reason why we came up with the idea, hey, let's work on the project and learn from the project. Let's imagine that people not come to the course, but they joined our company as junior people that don't know anything, and we just teach them on the project right away. So they learn from the project, from the company. And if you do that, so you already know what to answer here, because you just describe your responsibilities. When we start our sprint, we usually work with business analyst on the documentation. Then once we have test cases with requirements, we start writing test cases, right? And you just describe those phases of software development lifecycle you just participated in, and that's it. So question is pretty easy because this information comes from your experience and comes from your resume. So you have an answer for. And the reason they are asking for, again, remember, if they read your resume, even if your resume is not matching their job description by 100%, if they read your resume and they called you to the interview, potentially they're hiring you. And you just need to prove that you know what is in your resume, because sometimes, believe me, sometimes people write a lot of things in their resume and they cannot answer the question when I'm just opening their resume and read, okay, you mentioned that you did this, and they don't know what to answer because they never used that, right? They never did that. So there are specific rules how to write resume, and you just need to know what is in your resume to do that, and just describe what you have done on your project and what is in your resume. And the questions will come from here. They will ask you how big was your team. Again, everything comes from the project, and you just tell them the information you know. How many testers were in your team, how many developers, business analysts, and so on. And this is very interesting question. What was your biggest accomplishment? So here it's always hard to answer, especially if you're not prepared. And I remember my first interviews, and when people ask me this question, you cannot remember right away. You always do something specific, especially if you are proactive, and you need to find some unique situation or something like that when you did something great, when you improved something drastically or something like that. And so I'm suggesting to prepare you something. Even if they don't ask you this question, you will answer them in story about them yourself, or mention that in your resume, some big accomplishment. For example, there was no email reporting in your test automation framework. So you were running tests. In order to send the result to the management, somebody had to manually collect all those results from many test runs, create some report, and send to the manager via email. But you came up with an idea saying, hey, why we need to spend so much time assigning some person to this? Let's maybe use some tool or some code to send email automatically after the test. And then you researched, you find the tool, you implemented a new functionality, and now once your test runs, after the test, you send email automatically with the email report. That was your accomplishment. You saved a lot of time for the team. Nobody is manually doing that anymore. And plus, you save money for the company because nobody didn't have to pay people for doing that. Now, this is code doing that automatically. So you need to create that story in advance about yourself. So, for example, if you watch this video, for example, you have an interview tomorrow and you watch this video right now, just to prepare yourself. So right now, sit and create some story about your biggest accomplishment. Maybe that was done not by you. Maybe that was done by your colleague on your project. Tell them that you have that you did that, especially if you know how to do that. You learned the implementation. It was pretty simple, but your colleague did that. But it was awesome. Tell them that you did that. You need just some story to show them that you're like not the regular person, but you were one of the best people on the project. And right now you will be one of the best people on the project again in their company. So they would like to hire you because either if you don't have accomplishment, probably you're just a regular person. They have a bunch of people like you. Why they need to hire you? They would like to hire somebody who is extraordinary, right? Not like everybody. So you need to have some accomplishment. So if you're watching video right now and you're preparing for the interview tomorrow, for example, or maybe in few days or maybe today, so yeah, go and think about your biggest accomplishment and prepare this. Even if they don't ask you about this accomplishment, you can tell them about it during any other answer, right? If you're talking, explaining them about yourself, about your project or something like that, you can tell them about this accomplishment in that answer. So do this. Questions about this slide? Okay, good. Okay, this is pretty standard, so it's usually asked, it may be asked by anybody, usually by HR, but sometimes some managers would like to ask you these questions to understand what kind of personality you are and if they would like to work with you, right? If you have the same values as the entire company, as the other people in the company or in your team. So they would like to learn something more about you. So these questions are asked in order to understand what kind of personality you are. So for example, they want you describe your positive sides, your the best things you like in yourself. It's easy to describe. You can tell them, hey, I'm professional, I am positive, I am empathetic, I I have really good communication skills. It's easy for me. I'm not conflicting person. It's easy to find the common language with other people. For me, it's fine. I'm a team player, and usually people can tell about things here, a lot of things here about themselves. But the second question, okay, how about your negative sides? Do you have something you don't like? And here, the most important thing to understand is you need to mention something, but make it positive. For example, and you need to prepare this because it's really hard to imagine something negative and that will work for you. And you can tell that during the interview, right? So you need to prepare this answer in advance to tell them. For example, you would like to work at night and you don't like that because uh, in the morning you would like to sleep longer, but you have to wake up, so you don't sleep enough, but you are very productive at night, right? And usually when you have something incomplete, some incomplete task on your job, you always trying to complete it. And for the company, it's actually positive side. For you, it's negative because you're not sleeping well and you would like to sleep more and you would like to spend more time with your family, for example, but you're so responsible, so you have to finish this task. You cannot leave it incomplete. So you have to complete it, and sometimes it takes a lot of time, so you don't spend enough time with your family. Sometimes you don't rest enough, and you would like to do it. So you are fighting with this. You're trying to improve this, but this is my negative side. I cannot fight against it right now. But for the company, it's positive because company knows, hey, okay, that's good for us then, because we know that this person will work additionally, will complete the tasks in time, so it's good for us. So it's kind of tricky, right? You tell them that you have some negative side, but it should be something positive for them. It doesn't necessarily should be something like I mentioned about working late, but anything else. You can imagine that it's negative, like for you, you would like to change, but it's like kind of good for the company. Or just tell them that you are aware of this problem and you would like to fix it. It will work well as well. Good. And sometimes they ask some kind of family over job question. And the reason is just to see what kind of person you are again. And if you have the same values as the company has. For example, they can ask you, for example, you have a situation, your kid got sick and right now your wife and your kid in the hospital and you was about to leave, but something bad happened in production, and right now a lot of customers are calling you telling that they have problem, they cannot access your website and you have to do something. So you have a choice, either to stay and work on that super important issue at work or go to your child and spouse at the hospital. So actually the answer for this question is I will go to child and spouse because family first. Of course, I will not leave my work unattended. I will try to call somebody, my colleagues, my manager, um, developers, other people who can help me with and try to solve this problem without me. And there are a lot of people at the company who will understand your situation and will help you. If you tell your manager, hey, I know that there is a problem, but I have to go. I cannot stay because my child is in the hospital right now. And everybody will understand that. Sometimes people are trying to say, no, of course I will stay at job and I will do my job and my wife can take care of my kid and so on. But especially in California, in most of the companies, there is a rule, family first, and everybody will understand you. When you work with people, especially for a long time, they become your friends, and there will be a lot of people who will help you, who can do that for you. So the answer for this question will be, I will go to my family because family first, but I will try to do my job as best as I can. I will call to my manager, talk to my colleagues to help me with this problem, to development team, to business team, blah, 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 to other people who can help me potentially, depending on the situation. Okay, good. Last slide probably. And you come to the point during the interview when they tell you, hey, okay, I'm done with my questions. Maybe you have some questions for me. If you have one single question, the first question you need to ask, what is your ideal candidate for this position? Don't forget about this. What happened yesterday, we had the same class about the interviews and I explained same thing. And then we had mock interviews. And when I asked, hey, maybe you have some questions for me. And person didn't ask me this question. So that was a failure right away. Uh, People just start asking about the project, about the company, about something else. Again, company hiring people to improve their situation, right? So there is some problem. There is somebody they are looking for. Maybe that's an additional QA person just to do the job. That's it. You have to be that person. You have to be that person. If they're looking for the person who should be able to build test automation framework from scratch, you should be that person. If they're looking for the person who doesn't matter on the skills, but they just want to hire somebody who will be just responsible, who can take the responsibility and maybe lead some processes or something like that, you should be that person. You should show them that, hey, here I am. So why are you asking this question? Because by answering this question, the interviewer will tell you exactly who they are looking for. That's why you ask this and only this question, the first one. So the first question you ask them is, what is your ideal candidate? Maybe you won't have time for any other questions. So this should be your first question, because you need to identify that person they're looking for, and they will just describe the person they're looking for. Usually it will be just a job description, plus everybody will have their own opinion. For example, if you had technical interview with the engineer, maybe engineer has some problems with the colleagues, and engineers has own opinion about the ideal candidate. I would like to have this new colleague like this because I don't want to have the same problems as with others, right? I want this person to be different, to be responsible, for example, proactive. So I'm not the only one who is working on the difficult tasks, but there is somebody else working with me on something complex and important, not as everybody else who is trying to hide and work on something less important, right? So same here, you ask this question because they will be describing the ideal candidate for them, and you need to be that candidate for them, and they will hire you. So you need to understand what they're looking for if you didn't get it till this point. And your goal will be to, again, suggest yourself as a solution. Maybe tell them some story. Maybe when they answer this question, an engineer, for example, or a manager describing, hey, I want this person to be proactive, responsible, taking the responsibilities, and so on. And you just answer naturally. You know, seems like I understand what you're talking about because I have the same situation in my project right now. Seems like I understood who are you are looking for because I'm the person who is always taking the responsibilities, proactive, and I know that. I feel your pain because I used to work with many people and I understand that not everybody is taking the responsibility, picking up complex tasks, doing research. Everybody would like to just do less and get more money, right? But do less, do nothing at all. So I understand you. If you're that kind of person, talking to them honestly, you're empathetic in this case because you're trying to tell them, hey, I understand you because I have the same experience as you do. So, but I'm this person, kind of person you're looking for because I understand you and I was doing that the entire life and I feel your pain because other people were not doing that. And first of all, usually people are not doing this. This is what I'm explaining you. People are not doing like that. Again, most of the people, they're afraid. They're scared of the interviewer. They're just answering like robots, like they are taking some exam or something like that. No, this is about people relationships. You have to be just empathetic, smiling, just natural person during the interview. Do not be afraid of the interviewer. Interviewer is a good person. Interviewer just wants to find a good candidate. Interviewer will not just scream on you or trying to feel you bad or something like that. Interviewer and the company in general just looking for a good candidate for them. They're just trying to understand if you're the one, and be just natural, be yourself, try to understand their pain and suggest yourself as a solution, and that's it. If you do everything, again, I'm continue repeating this, if you do this, you get this job. Good. If you still have opportunity to ask more questions, you ask them what do they expect from you. They will describe what do they expect from you in the first several months. Then if you still didn't get that pain, that problem, but you feel that there is something, you can honestly say, hey, honestly ask, hey, what is your pain? I feel that there is something, there are some specifics you're looking for. So what is your pain? What are you trying to fill? What kind of gap do you have that you're trying to fill, right? And they will answer you. If you honestly and naturally ask them this question, they will answer you, hey, you know what? I have a problem. Most of the people in our team are not responsible. They came from help desk. They are not testers. I need somebody professional to be responsible for this, who knows test design techniques, somebody I will enjoy working with. And you just tell them how I understand you. I used to work with many people like that, so I understand your pain. And you know what? Maybe it's ridiculous and it sounds obvious, but I feel that I can help you. I can be the best candidate for you. And that's it. Just honestly, naturally tell them that. And they will hire you. Just be natural. Actually, my current job I got, I have another manager right now, but the one who hired me when I had my first day, he invited me to a lunch and we had a lunch and he told me, hey, you know why I hired you? because you were the one who told me that you are my ideal candidate. So I didn't have any other option because you were my ideal candidate. You told me that you my ideal candidate, and I hired you. And that's what I did. I asked them about their ideal candidate. I tried to understand their pain and tell them, hey guys, I can help you with that. If you're looking for a person like that, here I am. You don't have to look for other people. I'm already here and you just need to hire me. And I was telling this to all the interviewers I was interviewing with. I just suggesting myself as a solution. And that's what they're looking for. They're looking for a solution, and that's it. If you suggest yourself, here you go, you get a job. And that's some unique knowledge because I didn't see many people teaching this and trying to explain this to students. Usually students after courses they go to the market and just try to prove that they are engineers. They just try to prove their skills, nothing more. And only people who are naturally empathetic, they just naturally nice people you like to work with. During the course you see that some people are just nice people you like to work with. They're funny, they ask funny questions, they maybe send some gif animations to the chat. They are just funny people, you like to work with them. So they are naturally empathetic, and people just hiring them, but they are just proving their skills, and they have that second part naturally. But other people who are not naturally super empathetic, or some people are just afraid of, many people, especially from Europe, they more like afraid of something. Americans, they look differently, and actually Indians, they look differently. I would say that Chinese people, Russian people, Ukrainian people, in general European people, they're different. They come to the interview like to some kind of exam, and they're different. They are afraid of something. But Americans, they feel relaxed during the interview. Indians, also, they different. So this is kind of skill you need to develop if you don't have, because you need to understand, because this is the most important part. Because many people can prove that they can do something, they can do automation, but they are not empathetic. I just conduct the interview and I see I don't want to work with this person, because this person kind of afraid of something, not sure if this person is able to take the responsibility, right? If this person is afraid of interview. So I don't know, right? So you need to be natural, smiling, just friendly conversation. This is how every interview should look like. And I'm trying, even if I'm trying to do that, it doesn't work for some people. When I'm conducting interviews, usually I started with, hey, my name is Arthur. Nice to meet you. So let's pretend we are friends sitting in cafe and drinking coffee. And I'm just asking you about QA or about some specific position or some specific skills. Just talk to me as to our friend. Relax. You know what? It doesn't work for many people. Many people, they're still afraid of something. They are still answering like robots. Somebody is trying to, especially right now when everything is remote, trying to read something from screen, Google something if they don't have an answer. Relax. If you don't know something, tell them, hey, I don't know this, or I forget this. I forgot how to write something. Can I Google it quickly? Like, be natural. How would you reply to your mom or your wife or your husband or your friend? Just be the same, and you will get this job. Be natural. Good. If you have chance to ask more questions, you can ask about company, about project, team, environment, anything. Just if they give you this opportunity to ask many questions, just ask them. Let them stop you. Why? Because you need to show that you are interested in this position. Because if you just say, hey, I don't have any more questions, you look like not interested in this position. If you like many questions and they tell you, hey, unfortunately we don't have enough time, so thank you for this great interview, so they need to stop you and continue asking questions. If they give you this opportunity and they tell you that you still have time, ask them about company, about project, about team. Do not ask questions about money or free food, if they have great benefits or something like that. No. Ask about the project. You are not interested in money. You are, because again, job search is not about you for them. right? When they're looking for a person, for that best candidate, they're looking for somebody who will fill the gap, but not who will be thinking about money, free food on the kitchen, or benefits, right? The person needs to be interested in the project, in developing. If you're a story that you would like to join this company, to develop yourself, to learn something new, to maybe get some challenges, right? Or something like that. So your questions should match that. You need to ask about the company, about the tools they're using, about some challenges they have, something like that. So you are confirming your story about why are you coming to this company, because company, your story should be about, like, guys, you have something I need, for example, new technologies I don't know, and here's your story. I never learned this, I never knew this, I would like to learn it, so that's why I am interested in this position. So, and that's how it works. Everybody understands you don't have to match job description by 100%, and there can be some tools you never knew and you never worked with. So you tell them, hey, I want to learn this, that's why I'm applying for this position, because I don't have this in my resume, but this is cool thing and I would like to learn it, and here is your story. You don't know this tool, but you joined this company to learn. So company has something you need, and you have something company needs. Good for everybody. And this is how it works. So you suggest yourself as a solution, but also tell them that they have something you need in the company. And even if you don't know something, you tell them, hey, this is exactly what I need, what I would like to learn. I don't know this, but I would like to learn this. And that's why I'm applying for this position. So from all sides, you are the best candidate for them after such great conversation. Okay, question, guys. I'm expecting a lot of questions right now. Show me, turn the microphone and show me that you are not afraid of talking. You are not afraid of asking questions. Come on, make that first step. Turn that microphone and just share your feedback or ask me a question.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So, after searching for a job for over 2 months and sending over 2,000 resume, I kind of almost gave up on hoping that I will ever find a job. How to motivate yourself to start looking again? Because I feel like I don't believe in that I will find a job. You know,
For how many months you're looking for a job?
almost 3 months.
2,
Three.
3? It's fine. It's fine. I just told you a story about the guy who found the job after 10 months, and somebody found a job in the first week as a junior person. But I have another person who found the job in 10 months, but as a senior person and way higher salary. I have another example that one of my best probably students, I used to work with him when I came to the United States, and the job was not related to IT, and he didn't believe in IT at all. And I used to work in IT back in Ukraine, and he didn't believe in IT at all. But then he came to my courses and he was looking for a job, and I was giving him references. Recruiters were calling me, asking about him. Then HR managers were calling me, asking about, hey, what you can do? Can you give a reference for Ivan? And I was giving those references. But something didn't work. He couldn't find a job. And what I realized, he was not looking for a manual position. He was not looking for just automation position. He was looking for lead position. And he found that position in 8 months, but he found it. So never give up. This is first thing. And your case, 3 months is nothing. I personally, with IT experience, when I came from Ukraine to the United States and I was looking for my first job, I was looking for 4 months. Yes, for 4 months. And for somebody who was looking for 10 months will tell me, hey, it's so quick. But somebody who found a job in a week will tell me, hey, so long, 4 months, why? There are some reasons, but at the end, after 4 months, I was getting like interviews approximately every day, and I got 3 offers at a time, and I had to decide. And that's the time when I went to Apple. So for 3 months, it's nothing. You just continue looking for a job. Of course, maybe there are some problems. There are maybe different problems. For example, the main problem is students when they graduate from many schools. For example, there are courses that graduate 100 students, and all 100 students have the same project in their resume. And imagine me as a manager. I open the position, people applying, and I see 80 or 100 resumes with the same, absolutely same resumes. Absolutely, just the name are different. They use the same words, same projects, everything is the same. So I absolutely know that these people came from courses. This is how it works. And what happens? Those people with those projects go to the blacklist, and recruiters just decline them right away because they have those specific projects.
Well, that's what happened to me, and I remember I got my final interview with the team canceled because of my reference, and for the same reason, my friend got cancellation for the interview, and that's how I found you. Actually, your student advised me, your school.
Yeah, so this is how it works. So you need to, we always suggest, hey, this is the template of the resume, but you need to use your own words. So you take the template, but you don't copy, and you don't write your resume based on the template. What you do, you just take the template on the one part of the screen, your resume, like empty list on this left part of the screen, and you start writing your resume from scratch using your own words, and you create your own unique resume. One thing. Second, projects should be different with different names because it shouldn't be a lot of people applying. Third thing, limiting amount of students in the group. First of all, it's better for teacher, so it should be no more than 30. And it's better for general job search because you cannot like graduate with 200 people and 200 people start applying together with the same project, with the same resumes. Guys, you're just going to the blacklist right away. And it's the problem of many schools. So people just need to realize that. And they need to tell you this. They need to tell you, hey, this is how you need to do interview. This is how you need to do resume. Plus, within one lesson when we create resume, second lesson when we review resume. We review resumes and see, hey, you need to improve this. This is not going to work. Change this. And everything should be according to the process. So you need to have great resume. And I had the situation when people had like webinars with some HR managers or something like that, and they say, oh, you have great resume, nice. You probably will find a job. But that person also, same like you, that person applied probably to 2,000 positions and no luck, like maybe one interview or something like that. And when I reviewed resume, and it has a lot of problems. Skills were not matching with the experience, formatting, a lot of sections. Uh, Again, the project everybody knows about on the market, right? The 80 people applying with the same project. So what do you expect? And that's it. So this is how it works. So there are always problems, and you need to have unique resume. You have to again continue applying. Of course, there is a problem if you have applied for thousands of positions. It's very good. It's very good because that means that you did a great job. That's a great skill, because there are people who tell me, hey, I applied to 3 positions last week. That's not acceptable. If you applied for many positions, that's really good. That means that you have this great skill. You need to just change your resume, that it doesn't look like different things, and that the it doesn't look like your other students' resumes, and continue applying. Continue applying. Just again,
Thank
let me know.
thank you. Yeah, it's very motivating, and I will start applying soon, and I will take your course just to stay afloat with my knowledge and get to learn new tools such as Azure, for example. We didn't have it.
Good. So don't worry. So you're in good hands, and we will make you find a job. We will review your resume. We will see what we can do better, and you will find your job. Don't worry. Just, again, the biggest problem I have, it's about interview right now, right? If you ask me the biggest problem I have, students are not participating lessons and not doing the homework. These kind of students, you can just say right away, this is not going to work, because you just miss the part of information. If you tell people, hey guys, today we are learning resume, for example, and your goal is to create your resume, and here is the checklist you need to go through and create your resume. Do this. Who is doing that? They are getting a job. Who is following the directions from interview lesson, getting a job? Who is following directions from other lessons, saying that, okay, you need to do this to learn this automation skill. You need to do this. If somebody doing that, every lesson, every homework, you will get the job, because the course is complete thing. It's just to create engineer from scratch from this person. You just need to follow the simple rules. And I understand we are humans, right? And sometimes we need to go somewhere, relax, and so on. But this is how I look at this. For example, if you take the manual course, it's 2 months. You need to tell yourself, hey, 2 months of learning, and then I will enjoy my life once I get a job. So now I need to focus on learning. If you just, oh, I had to go, I had relative event, or I have family event, so I didn't have time. Okay, you enjoyed few hours right now on this weekend. You didn't complete your homework. Right now, you are not ready for the next lesson. You cannot understand what we're talking about because you didn't complete your homework. And you're losing track, and you're losing the entire opportunity because you missed that. You missed that, and you, of course, you spend some time with your family during the weekend, and that's it. But you missed the homework. So find the job, find the time for the homework, find that time, do the homework, and then the rest of the time you can relax. But focus during those 2 months or 4 months. Just focus on education, and you will get a job. If you do everything what your teacher's saying, that's it. You will get a job for sure. You just need to follow those rules, and that's it. This is pretty easy. We are trying to help those people. I have few students who left the course right now, and they're taking a new course in May. They just skipped few lessons, and that's it. They say, I cannot understand anymore, so I'm taking the next course in May. We're giving them advantage, so the next course for them is not the same price. It's like only $9.99 per month. But again, it's another 2 months. Why to do that? Just focus on this during these 2 months. They did pretty good on manual course. Then they moved to automation course. Just you skip one lesson, second lesson, and that's it. You lose track of it. So they are taking new course, actually same course, but new, starting in on May 17th. Yeah, they have to go and take the second course. And again, they are not just leaving, they are going to the course again because they see that the course is complete. You just need to follow, because they have friends, because usually how it happens, one friend came and then few other friends join and they work together, and one friend is doing everything correctly, and they see, okay, my friend is doing everything correctly right now, is building the automation framework from scratch and looking for a job and finding a job, and I'm here a loser because I lost track of it, because I skipped 2 lessons or didn't complete to homeworks. So this is how it works. And if people are focused on education, on the course, they're getting the job, they're getting everything. Because again, we are interested. You will never find uh, people like Julia or me or Stan or Sergey who will tell you, hey, do you have any questions? Hey, tell me. I will spend additional time. I will have a call with you, and we will have a call, and I will explain you additionally what you need to understand if you're not getting. Nobody will spend additional time with you. Most of the people will tell you, hey, you have 2 hours of lesson? Okay, 2 hours lesson, and then your homework, your self-education. Nobody will ask you. They will go and just wait till another lesson. Here, you see that we are constantly asking, hey, you have any questions? Please ask. We are interested. Because again, we are trying to build a community for ourselves. If some of you will become super professionals, we would like to work with you in the future, maybe to build some startup with you in the future. So we are interested in developing your skills and you becoming professionals. So please help us do that as well, because it's better for you, it's better for us, because we will have a community to work with in the future. And once we have some good project in mind, some interesting idea, and we will need people to start working on. Maybe you will be the one, some of you will be the one we will be working with, but you need to help us do that. That means you need to be proactive. And I just told you everything about the interview. And this is kind of student I'm looking for actually as well. Because I want students to ask me questions. I want my phone just beeping every second. Hey, how can I do this? How can I do this? And what happens in real? Sometimes there is no question. There are questions, but people are not asking. Somebody is afraid of asking questions. Somebody just didn't understand and thinks, oh, I will look dumb if I will ask the question. No, just go and ask the question. This is kind of students I'm looking for. This is kind of professional the companies are looking for. So start developing that skill right away. Even being a student, ask as many questions as possible, and teachers will help you. They will never leave you alone. If you have questions regarding your resume, if you have questions regarding your interview, you went to the interview, you have some feedback, something didn't work, and you cannot understand what happened. Yeah, go and ask question, and your teacher will help you, and we will review the result of the interview. Maybe we'll make some suggestions what to do better next time. And this is how it works. So yeah, good. Any other questions?
Hi, I have a question.
Go.
So about resume, I heard about a lot of courses, and some people like told me, I mean, they're gonna put on resume the fake experience. I mean, like they work it for 5 years, or the person didn't work with the specific skill, right? Like Java or Linux or Azure something, and they just put the fake experience and person get a job. And is there like any bad situation this person couldn't handle this job and like failing?
No. So here's the thing. You can put more years of experience in your resume, and there are techniques how to do that. So you're like rebuild your previous experience. So what we usually do, if people coming, for example, somebody was installing those cell antennas, right, for cell phones, right? And then they just come from that area and trying to become a QA engineers, for example. So we have to somehow rebuild the previous experience, and we say, okay, so how long were you working there? Like 4 years. Okay, good. So mention your company you were working for those 4 years in your resume, but mention only skills that match with quality assurance engineer. For example, were you getting something new? For example, new devices, right? Right, it was like that. Okay, were you reading some documentation? Yes. Okay, This is the skill we do as a testers. We review the documentation for new things, for new tools, or if, for example, not testers not only working with software, with hardware as well. For example, you test routers or something like that. You need to read documentation, and then you need to test it accordingly, right? So you need to understand how it works. So you were reading documentation. Were you testing that that thing you were installing before installation? Yes. So we just mentioned only the skills that are matching with the tester, for example, right? And we add that as a testing experience. And that's okay. But you need to mention the things you really did. You need to write it in different words, like you were working not with, let's say, your people at your company who wrote documentation were called, like, I don't know, implementation specialists, right? Call them as business analysts, whatever the usual term used in the software industry, right? So use them, use that word, but use your real experience. But you mentioned that sometimes people are putting some unexisting skills, like different languages they didn't know, they didn't learn, and they don't know. No, that's bad habit, because you will be asked about your resume. Your resume will be source of questions during the interview, and if you don't have an answer, if they tell you, hey, you mentioned that you use Java, can you write some code in Java, and you cannot, that's it. That's failure. That's failure. It's better to say, no, I don't know Java. But I watched some videos, and seems like it's pretty easy right now for me, since I know JavaScript perfectly. It will be easy for me to learn. So doesn't think that's a problem. I will learn if you need. And again, remember that if they called you to the interview and they reviewed your resume, and there's a truth, right? Only the skills you have. Of course, resume is kind of like advertisement. It's the best words about you yourself, right? But again, it should be a truth. Skills you have, maybe best words you can imagine, but real skills, technologies you used, technologies you worked with, and so on. And if they read your resume and they call you to the interview after that, that means potential they will hire you. They have all the information for you to work with, so it's okay. So do not lie in the resume, but we can give you more years of experience, and that's what we have to do, unfortunately, because there are many people on the market that put 15 years of experience without any experience. And how it works sometimes, recruiters, they don't review your resumes. They don't know what they are looking for. They just have a request from the company to bring few people to the interview. So what they do, they look for the candidates, and they put a spreadsheet and say, hey, 15 years of experience, 10 years of experience, 12 years of experience. They filter, and they have the top people from the top, and they send them to the interview. And person who never had any experience but just put 15 years of experience went to the interview, got rejected, didn't get a job offer. But you didn't go to the interview because you mentioned 1 year or half of the year. So unfortunately, we have to put that. This is how market works, and we all know about that. When people applying to my open jobs at my company, and I interview them, I see that they are coming. I even, because I know all the projects, I know all the company names, so I know even from what courses they're coming from, which is okay. But I'm not looking for people with 10 years of experience. Again, I'm looking for motivated people who will take the responsibility. And I exactly know that there are people after the courses who are pretty good, who are better than the best people from the market. So I do not hesitate to invite people, even if I know that they are after the courses, because I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for skills. If people prove that they can do that, they can do that, and I hire this person. I'm hiring people from the courses, from my courses, from other courses as well. If those are really good people, I hire them. And I'm not interested in skills, because pretty much skills matching, people can easily prove their skills, but people cannot show me that they are responsible enough to take the responsibility and to do this job well. That's the most important for me, right? I have some pain, and I'm looking for people to feel that pain, to fill that gap. And this is what is the most important thing. This is the skill every school needs to learn, needs to teach people, actually needs to learn and then teach people. Because technically, there are a lot of strong people. Emotionally, empathetically, there are not a lot of great people I would like to work with. So it's really about how the interviewer like you during the interview. And this is how it works. So I just went into some different fields. Yeah. So about resume, yes, we add years of experience. We redo your previous experience into a testing experience, for example. But we do not lie. That's bad behavior. If you lie, you will get a lot of problems. Do not lie in the resume. Just put the truth, maybe in the best wording you can use. Yes, do not hesitate to praise yourself in the resume. It should be as an advertisement. Resume has a single goal: bring you to the interview, right? It's imagine that you have opened restaurant, right? And you have that brochure. What you will put in that brochure? Will you tell people, hey, regular restaurant, just as others? No, you will tell them, hey, the best in the city or the best in this district and blah, blah, blah. You will tell people that this is the best restaurant in this, maybe in this area or whatever, right? So this is how you will explain your restaurant or any other business. That business will be the best. Same with resume. You tell the truth, but in the best words. So you're the best candidate, you can take the responsibility, you are never stopping, you're a key person on the project, blah, blah, blah. Your best words about yourself, your skills, your achievements, your experience. This is how it works, but never lie there. Never add languages you don't know. Never add technologies you never used. You can honestly say, hey, if you're working with Azure DevOps, it's okay. If I worked with Jira in the past and I joined the company, they use Azure DevOps. This is not a problem because many companies use many different technologies. If you're the person they're looking for, because you can take the responsibility, you can quickly learn something new. And especially if companies have many projects, if you have many projects, you start new project and you may say, hey, we don't want to use these tools anymore. We will use new tools. And maybe you used those tools in the past. So you will be subject matter expert for them now, and so on. So many things doesn't matter. So you don't have to be afraid if job description doesn't match your resume 100%, because it's okay. Sometimes we don't have that knowledge of that coding language, but if they're inviting you to the interview, potentially they are ready to hire you. Just prove them your skills from your resume and show them that you're a nice person to work with. That's it. That's it. Those two things, and you get a job. I understand that it sounds easy, and if you go to the interview, it's not easy. Yes, because you're stressed, you go and you fail, but this is another job, right? This is another homework during the course. For example, during the course, this is the homework. You have to go to the interview. This is the homework. You go and fail, and you never stop and say, oh, I failed. No, you do a homework. You're trying to understand what you did wrong and what you can do better next time. And you do that better next time. Then maybe it's not still ideal. You improve yourself and do better next time and better next time. And imagine this as a job, as a part of the course. This is your homework. This is not something troubles or something like that. Nobody will you will not lose money, or nobody will die if you go and fail, right? It will be just experience. You will go and fail, and but after some time you will understand that, hey, Arthur was right. I had to do this and this and this, and I got a job. Easy. That's what all people who found the job tell me. Yes, you helped me. Exactly. It was working exactly how you explained. I just did that and it worked. They just hired me. And this is how it works. Sometimes people understand that right away. And I just explained that one time and people just find a job right after this class. Or sometimes it takes months and people need to get to that point to understand that. Okay, I was doing this, I was afraid, I was not relaxed or something like that. But you just do not have to give up. Do not give up. Always remember about people who found the job in 10 months, in 8 months. I believe Feruza mentioned that somebody was looking for a job more than a year. It's fine. When I came to the United States, of course, I was looking for a job, but I have to work somewhere. So I went to I was doing siding, I was doing flooring, and I was thinking about, okay, even if I don't find a job tomorrow, I'm still working here. I'm still getting money, right? I'm still able to pay for my apartment. Nothing is happening. I will just continue. I will just continue working, and I will continue looking for my job. Nobody is dying. I'm not losing money. I'm just will continue um, living as is and looking for a job. But I will not give up because I know that I will find a job. Why? Because other people found the job. I'm not worse than other people, right? Maybe even in some points I'm even better than other people. Same for you. You don't have to think that you're worse than other people. You are at least the same as other people, and maybe even better in some time. So use those positive sides and get that job. Do not give up. Just continue looking for a job and you will get it. But looking for a job is not only going and hitting the wall and trying to pass through it again and again. You hit the wall, you say, okay, there is an obstacle. I need to do something with it. So if you apply for positions and nothing is happening, maybe there is something wrong with your resume. If you're going to the interview, but you're not getting hired, you're not getting offers, maybe something is bad with your empathy, with how you behave during the interview. So you need to analyze your interviews. You have a video and you need to just compare. Am I person Arthur is describing here? No, I'm not. What I can do better? I need to be more relaxed. I need to smile. I need to joke more. Blah, blah, blah. You have to be natural. I'm often joking during the interview. When I see that people are relaxed and they're joking, they're smiling, I'm joking as well, and we have a nice, friendly conversation. I never have problems during the interview. It took time for me to understand that, and then every next interview will be easier and easier. Once you get a one job, the next job is always super easy for you. Then the next job is easier also, and then easier. Why? Because you are relaxed. Now you have the experience, and you know that if you go to the interview, you just to show them that you're a person as you are. You cannot be better. You just tell them, hey, this is what kind of person I am, and if you like me, please hire me. Just be the best candidate for them. Be relaxed. Tell them, hey, I have these skills. If I don't know something, I will learn it. This is what I know, right? If you need to learn something, I will learn it. If you need to solve something, I will take that responsibility and solve it. I will Google, I will ask developers, I will do my best. Because that will be my job. And that's it. It's pretty simple. You just need to get to it, either to listen to me and understand that, or you will get to that point by just failing and trying to improve yourself. But just do not go to the interview, fail, and do nothing, because you will fail again and again and again. Failed? Okay, what was wrong? You need to analyze and improve. I remember when I was looking for my first job in Ukraine, I had a problem because I used to learn German in the school and in the university. So I didn't speak English, and everybody wanted English, right? So I had to do some cheating, and I went to several interviews, failed, and then I had to do something. So what I did, I sat and think, okay, I have to create some story about myself in Russian. So I wrote a story about myself, then I translated it and learned. So even if you wake up me during the night, I will tell you that story. So this is how you need to learn that story. So I learned that story about myself. And next interview, I was just easily telling them in English. And I got job offer. Actually, my first job, I got two offers. One was in my city, is like 5 or 10 minutes drive. And second one was in city of Odessa, and there was a QA lead position. My first job as a junior person, I found a job and people were about to hire me as a lead. But again, for at that time, it also took me about 4 months, I believe. Yeah, I started looking in December and I found a job in March, 4 months. And 4 months it took for me, but I was never giving up. Again, same thing. I was working, thinking I will continue to live as is. If I find a job, good. I will go and accept an offer and I will improve my life. But even if nothing changes, I will still continue working at this current job, and my life will not change. Nobody dies, nothing changes, everything is the same. So let's just continue doing that. That was my thoughts when I was looking for my first job. That was my thoughts when I was looking for my first job in the United States. So please do not give up. It's just, I will motivate you as much as possible. Just do not give up. If you go to the interview, you fail, okay, come to me, ask me, hey, I had the interview, I failed. What can I do better? And we'll just sit and analyze your interview. If Julia will be your teacher, you can ask Julia. She also has great experience with the interviewing, and she is actually the person who is getting the job easily because she has that empathy. So she can tell you, hey, this is what you need to do as well. So there are people who can help you. What you need to do is just to go, continue doing that. Do not give up. If you have questions, ask questions. Do not hide. Do not hesitate to ask questions. Because this is the problem, right? If we have this meeting and I'm asking, hey guys, if you have questions, go ahead, turn the microphone on and ask me a question. Do not sit. Do not be afraid of asking questions. Take your chance, ask a question, provide your feedback. This is what makes you better. Do not hesitate to be a better person. Okay? Okay, questions? Any other questions? Okay. How did you like the class itself? Unfortunately, we don't have time. I was planning to have mock interview with some of you, but unfortunately, we didn't have time enough. I was thinking to wrap up by 8 o'clock and then have an hour to have one or maybe two mock interviews, but we can do that later. That's not a problem. Okay, our next class will be test automation in 2 days on Thursday. There are some prerequisites to install. It will be pretty fun because that will be your first lesson when you will create your test automation script, and it will work and it will do something in your browser, and you will see that it's testing something and doing something automatically. It just opens the browser, clicking, entering some information into the fields and doing something. It will be pretty fun. So I believe that you will enjoy that lesson pretty much. But you will need to install some prerequisites. I will provide you the list, and I will provide you videos how to do that on YouTube. And yeah, I just hope that you get the information I was sharing with you today. I hope I motivated you to continue doing whatever you planning to do, because that's the most important thing, motivation. And that is what is everything coming from. You have motivation first, then you decide to do something, then you go to the courses, and motivation is what keeps you going, right? You keep going because you have this motivation. Motivation moves you forward. So this is what's happening, and be motivated. If you need more motivation, we can have more webinars, more classes like this. I will be motivating you. Don't worry. Who will be joining our course? You will have a lot of motivation and a lot of new knowledge, of course. What else? I forgot. Julia will give me the person who wrote the most interesting bug report. So you will get a free t-shirt. And remember, the people who completed all homeworks will get very, very big bonus next next lesson, the automation lesson. So please, if you haven't completed something yet, please do that, because you will get a pretty good bonus. You will like it, because some of you do not expect that, but it will be pretty good for you, pretty good bonus for you. You will like it pretty much. Okay, guys. Okay, Julia, thank you, Julia. Thank you, Fruza, for your feedbacks. Any other feedbacks? Any other thoughts? Any other questions?
Thank you very much for your lessons. It's very interesting, and everything clear. Everything is clear.
Good. Thank you for coming, and thank you for your feedback, because again, as I mentioned, I like when people turn the microphone and then provide feedbacks, ask questions, because we have this great conversation, right? We can talk to each other. You can ask some interesting questions. I can answer some interesting questions. And sometimes students make the course, because sometimes, for example, I can forget something. I forgot something to say or to explain, and then you ask me, oh yeah, that's really good question. Let me answer it. And then you make the class, because other people hear that answer and everybody get that knowledge. So thank you for doing that as well. Okay, thank you, Denise. Thank you, SF. Thank you, guys. Okay, so I will see you on Thursday on our final class. And my goal will be to create test automation framework. So everybody on your own laptop create test automation framework. And you have, so we will, what I will give you, you will have a list of commands, right? So one command to enter some information into the field, one command to click something, one command to scroll, one command to something. So you will be able to continue. So you will not just stop during that lesson, but you will be able to use other commands to, for example, to use any website and create automation for it. Just pick the command from the list, use it, find the element you would like to click or field value for, and you will like it. Because I remember when I ran my first automation script and it does something for me, like automatically clicking something, entering values. It's pretty nice. And if you will have that on your computer and you will be able to continue to develop that framework, that will be nice. And of course, if you will decide to go to the course, it will be a huge advantage for you, because you will have a lot of knowledge and it will be easier for you to learn the automation after that class. Okay, guys, thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your great feedbacks. Thank you for your questions. I hope this information will help you and you will all find a job. And I hope that some of you will become super nice professionals and we will build some great projects in the future with you. That's my hope and that's my goal. That's why I'm doing this. Okay, guys, thank you all and have a great night actually already. Bye-bye. See you on Thursday.